And today I have Nancy Greenfield, who's going to be one of our speakers in the Twin Dynamics and the Baby's Experience talks that are coming up in October and November. She is our final speaker before we have the panel, which will have everybody that has been a part of our talks for this amazing online presentation series. And Nancy, would you just like to introduce yourself and say a little bit about what you're going to talk about?
Sure, thank you. First of all, I want to thank you for putting this whole thing together and including me, inviting me to share what my research was. So just a little bit about my background. I'm a Ph.D. and master's in clinical psychology, both though are specialized in pre and perinatal psychology. And I started working with Ray Castellino in '94. And spent many, many years working with him and assisting him, and then working in his clinic. And that's where I did all of my focus with babies and newborns, babies, and very young children. And then I went on to dealing with adults and pursuing other degrees and other certifications. But what is relevant to your talk is an experience that I had with a 3-year-old little boy who was sent to the clinic after being diagnosed by a network chiropractor as suffering from a vanishing twin dynamic. And so I did 19 sessions with him. They were all taped. And what happened was this little boy who came in with a series of very restrictive behaviors that were limiting his capacity to engage with life. At the end, he was a different little boy. Mm-hmm. And all those dynamics had shifted. So what happened during that 19 therapeutic period, nobody can actually definitively say, but I will share with you that during that time, and I went into the sessions, I met him based on this suggestion from his chiropractor. And I was very familiar and skilled with working with vanishing twin dynamics. I had a vanished twin brother and sister myself. I was very aware of what the process was. And I held a very specific space for this little boy. And what he ended up doing was a series of essentially 12 behaviors that were done throughout the entire 19 sessions. And from my perspective, I experienced him to actually depict the experience of having twins, the experience of what happened that might have gestationally might have caused the twin loss. And then a very magnificent way he came to peace with that loss. So what I did in my dissertation is I took this entire experience and I analyzed it, and then I presented it. And so I took his behaviors and then I cross-referenced them with all the embryological dynamics that I felt he was literally describing. And that I continued and described in the dissertation all of his movements, the stages he went through with himself, the stages he went through with his parents, because one or both parents was present in every session. And that is what my dissertation, for those of you who've never written one, it's a question. The author asks the question and then explores the data that they have from their research and then suggests a final conclusion. So in my dissertation, I had a very clear suggestion, and I can only say it was a suggestion, that this little boy did in fact have a vanishing twin experience, and that his exploration, his very courageous exploration during these 19 sessions was his journey in relationship, because these are experiences that are too overwhelming. We can't be with them ourselves. We must have support. So with the support of myself and his parents, he very courageously, in my opinion, went back, relived, told the story of this journey of having, I actually now think he had a brother and a sister. It's interesting, when I reread my whole dissertation, I got very clear that there was a brother and a sister. When I was writing the dissertation back in 2001, I did this research with him in 2000. I wrote my dissertation in 2007. there were reasons why I saw the potential for a brother and sister, but I decided that it wasn't clear enough. And the work that I've done since then made it very clear to me that he had, from my perspective, a brother and sister, both of whom vanished or very early on. So I'm going to present my research, what I wrote about and what he did, and share my deep gratitude and love for this little child who was phenomenally courageous in his own evolution.
Oh, I can't wait to hear. I can't wait to hear all the details. And thank you so much, Nancy, for sharing your work and yourself with us. Nancy's talk will be this description of her process with the 3-year-old, which was her dissertation, and she's presenting on November the 2nd as a part of our Twin Dynamics and the Baby's Experience. So thank you, everyone.
Bye.
You there, yeah.